Oh, cool. Hey, what's up, everybody? Just got a cool notification from YouTube right there about I can pin a comment in the live stream so that I guess everybody gets to see it. That's really cool, actually. That way, if I have somebody wanting to post a link to something or something, I should be able to highlight that and keep it at the top of the chat. Huh. Interesting. So, hello, everyone. How have you all been for the past month? It's been a while. It's been a while. I've got a weird package here. I've not opened it yet. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let me get my knife out here. Just get into this thing. There we go. Now, I have no idea if this thing's going to be good, but I have been wondering about this menu right here for a long time, since the first time I ever seen it. I've never looked it up. I've never taken the time to look up what this is. Usually that's what I would do. And it's kind of weird, because this time it's actually going to be just a total surprise to me what this is. I have no clue what this Navarian... I don't know what kind of food that is. So, something that Canada put in, I think, let's see. I have one that's from... I want to say it's earlier, like a 2001, or it could be even older than that. So obviously they ran this menu for a few years. I'm not exactly sure what years they ran it, because our backlog, or our log of Canadian rations, has basically been done by Smitty as far as anything vintage goes. So there's not a whole lot of actual, well, maybe there is a menu list somewhere. I'm not going to say there's not one out there, but I'm saying I haven't had access to it, and I don't know where I would get that at. Let me make a really quick post that we are live here, and then we will get on with it. All right, download this somehow. How do I... Yep, there we go. Save. Good deal. Take me just a second to make this post. So it's a whole new year now for everybody, and we also haven't seen each other since Christmas. So I'm curious to see how your guys' Christmas went. Did anybody get anything cool for Christmas? Like the one time you'd go out and maybe buy yourself something that you wouldn't typically go out and buy yourself something. Post. Okay. Hello, Miss Marilyn. I see her talking to CT in there. Alright, text poll. See, YouTube has done some updates where things are different now. Image poll, text poll, just a text, I think is what I want to do. I do want to throw an image up in there, though. Good deal. Oops. Hey, Amber, have you told Alex his packages are here?
Yeah, he got them.
Oh, okay. Josh Tard, what's up, man? BTemple, hello, man. Oh, no. Accidentally clicked on something. I guess I clicked on my live stream. 2006, have an empty spot, question mark, what now? So I don't know if anybody's seen this menu before and kind of knows what to expect. Like Smitty or CT or any of the other Canadians up there maybe have had their hands on one of these. Specifically this menu. Like 2005 is a year. Oh no, it's ripped. It's fine. Is a year that I have not had. I don't think I've ever had one IMP from 2005 before. I could be wrong about that, but I don't recall ever having one from 2005. So that means it's probably like a lower production year, some that you don't see pop up quite as much. I'm just curious as to what kind of food this is, so it'll be fun to find out together. 2005. Let's see. What was going on in 2005? Conflict-wise. Was Canada even involved in anything in 2005? I don't know. Probably. But I am curious. What? Man, this phone. Of course, I don't know that information, so I'm going to have to rely on Google. I could pick a different web service, but obviously I'm not doing that. 2005. Let's see. Looks like they were involved in the Iraq War that began in 2003, which I think Iraq was a pretty short run, or what they considered it. So if you guys don't mind, hit the thumb up or down. Either way, ups or downs. They both actually count the same. Actually, I think for some reason I want to say that the downs might count for more with old Google for some reason. They like negative, like comments and negative feedback, and I don't know. It's a weird thing. So that's got quite the seal on the top of it there. I will have to say that. The person I got this off of did mention that they didn't know about the condition of it. So as of right now, I don't necessarily have anything set up as a backup, but I will go find something if need be. But like my access to all of my things right now is kind of obstructed from Christmas stuff. Christmas stuff is kind of blocking the way right now. Just kind of got the tree put up today, and all the ornaments and stuff off that put up, and some other, just a couple other things put up. But all right, wow, that was even pressed, sealed together right here a little bit. Let's find out what's in this thing. Uh-oh, I see some biscuits that might not have fared very well because they're just in commercial packaging right there on the top. You guys can see the same thing I see. Now, I've had those that were good from a ration that was older than this that I got from, who did I get that from? I think I got it from Don Juan. I need to get back with Don Juan, by the way. All right, let's find out what all's in here. There is our National Combat Ration Program feedback card, which that'll tell us everything that's in here. I don't want to look at that just yet. And there's the wet wipe. I'll put that right there. What else we got in here? Ooh, some strawberry jam. That's a little sticky on this side. Huh. 2004, the 274th day. Separated and solidified a little bit, which is fine. Should be fine. Then we have cup of soup. Not cup of noodles, cup of soup. Vegetable beef. I don't think I've seen it packaged just like this before. Try as a 3 p.m. snack. Put soup into your mug, add 3/4 of a cup, 175 milliliters of boiling water, and stir. You won't have to add exactly 175 milliliters. It's not like it's a law or anything. That's cool. I like the fact that they put that on there. Drink me, no spoon required. Easy food to eat. All right, mixed fruits. That's an interesting looking one too. I don't know that I've ever had that before. Pretty sure I haven't. Huh. Cool. I like finding new things like that. Instant coffee. Awesome. Last few rations that I have had did not have coffee in them. Like the last 4 or 5 that I've had. The last 3 I think I've opened on live streams I didn't have them. And the other ones that I've opened did not have coffee either. Here's our pack of sugar for our coffee. Oh, here are our biscuits. Shortcake biscuits. Sables. 54 grams of biscuits there. I guess we'll find out how well they've held up here in just a second. There's all kinds of little packages down in here. All right, let's see. We got another pack of sugar. Oh, look at that. That's interesting looking. A little pack of iodized salt. Huh. Nice and colorful. I like the little turquoise and pink salt shaker. It's cool. We got a whitener. We have another whitener. So we got 2 sugars, 2 whiteners. Is there another coffee in here? Huh. There is. Wow. 2 coffees. How awesome is that? Coffee type 1. So we got 2 coffees, 2 sugars, and 2 creamers. Sweet. Oh, look at this. Steak sauce. Some, like, delaminating? Can you guys hear that? Sounds weird. I mean, it doesn't necessarily feel or look like it's delaminated. It's just making that sound. Almost like there's salt in between the layers or something. That's interesting. I don't know that I've ever had Canadian steak sauce out of an IMP either. Huh. Hello, Crot. Just looked down and seen Hi Smokey, so I figured I'd reply to that. Okay, we got our standard. These are going to be Eddie Match from Pembroke, I'm sure. Yep. Pembroke, Ontario. Eddie Match. And they are white tip. Strike on back. White or gray. Oh, peanut butter. So now we have a peanut butter and a jelly. Or a jam. Somebody tell me if there's a difference between jam and jelly. Is there a consistency difference there? Okay, then we have another little flashy looking, obviously this is commercial stuff, but we have a pepper to go along with our little salt. Cool, cool, cool. And we have one of these Compagno, little strawberry cream candies. This thing is melted. So it's skinnier than it should be, and it's like real flat on the ends right here where it melted. Ooh, cool. It's going to be like chewing gum consistency. Soft. And we have a loaf of bread. It's pretty solid. Make sure there's no pinholes in here, because there's definitely no air in this bag. Like, it's almost vacuum sealed. That might have really worked to our advantage here. Do not eat. Desiccant pack. Bread can be heated by placing bread pouch in hot water. Bread can be toasted. I have never toasted Canadian bread before. Although, now I want to. Because I just read that on there. I was like, you know, that kind of sounds good. The Canadian bread's usually pretty good, I gotta say. The little loaves are a nice little novelty into themselves as well. And we have our super long Canadian spoon. It's nice and shiny. It's got like a almost kind of like sticky, shiny feel to it. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign, is it? I guess I can still use it to stir stuff with. Probably don't want to use it to eat with. And we have our big old bed sheet of a napkin or your butt ration, whatever you have to use it for at the time. You rip this thing down into 8 different sheets. You know, you could get the job done with one of these versus the American toilet paper or napkins, whatever the little package we get. Like, honestly, it'd be hard to get the job done with one of those, to be 100% honest. You can do it, but it just depends, you know, on how much of a situation that really was to begin with. All right. And I'm guessing mixed fruit. No. Huh. Mango. Focus. Focus. Mango peach applesauce. 142 calories. No protein, blah, blah, blah. 36 grams of carbs. Ingredients. Applesauce. Okay, so applesauce is an ingredient. That's an interesting ingredients list. Mango puree, peach puree, sugar, and ascorbic acid. Cool. Well, I think this is the last thing in here, and it's our Navarian lamb and vegetables. So this is just like a lamb steak with vegetables. Is that what this is? Ingredients are water, lamb, potatoes, carrots, peas, modified cornstarch, tomato paste, chicken base, onions, salt, onion powder, celery extract, caramel, and spice. Well, these boxes look really, the font is really weird on all this print. Nutritional information, we got only 244 calories? Really? So there's 1 calorie per gram, basically, because it's 240 grams. So made by Warnick. Who made the applesauce? Warnick made the applesauce as well, out of Cincinnati. Huh. What's our date on this? 211th day of 2004. All right, let me go get this thrown in some water. I'm going to throw this and the bread in some water. I'm surprised we only got 1 peanut butter and 1 jam. I thought usually we got 2 of those back in this time period. Oh, I missed one thing. The toothpick. There it is. All right. Trying not to waste your guys' time tonight. All right, I don't really feel like a steak in there. What is going on with this? There's chunks, but I'm guessing like potatoes. Now, the retort is in good shape. It looks good. I'm going to venture to bet this is probably okay, but I mean, obviously I can't 100% count on that, but I have high hopes. All right, I'll be right back. Well, nope, let me take this bread. It's going with me. All right. All right. Where's my tray? Oh, yeah. It's covered up. Alright, I gotta move all this stuff over out of the way. No hot beverage bag either. Did I miss that? Nope. No beverage bag. That's pretty odd. I'm sure that has to be a mistake. I'm sure it's supposed to have one. I'll bet it's probably supposed to have 2 of these too. Now, I could be wrong. That's for sure. But back in this time period, I'm pretty sure that there was supposed to be 2 of each. Alright, one of these coffees I'm putting off to the side. And we will have that next time I don't have coffee and I want coffee. I can figure out where I can put it. Right here. Okay. Oh, well here. Let's look at this list and maybe it'll tell us. Let's see. No. It's not like an individual menu breakdown. It's kind of randomized. 2005, there was ham steak with mustard sauce, which is pretty good, but did I have that one? I had a ham steak, but I don't know if it had mustard sauce. I think it might have had pineapple. Something or other. Scalloped potatoes and ham, sausage and hash browns, beans and wieners. Oh, hey, look at that. Smitty, thank you so much for the super chat, my dude. 2008 was the first year of the... Really? Huh. I'll be daggone. I must have had some that were like right around 2008. Or 2009 or 10 also, maybe. Huh. I did not know that. Well, thank you for that piece of information, Smitty. And I appreciate the heck out of that super chat. You're the man. Okay. Omelet with salsa. Wait, beans and wieners and tomato sauce was next. Omelet with salsa, breakfast sausages, Hungarian goulash, pork with herbs and wine cream sauce. Now that's getting fancy. Macaroni with cheese sauce. I've never had that one, but I've not heard good things about it. So I have avoided it. I've had the opportunity to have it multiple times, and I turned it down. Turkey and vegetable stew. Beef ravioli with meat sauce. Beef chop suey. Here we go. Here's our Navarian. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Probably not. Tarragon chicken strips. Chicken breast. Cacciatore. Cabbage rolls and tomato sauce. Salisbury steak dinner. Yum. I'm a TV dinner guy. Like, I grew up on that crap, so now I like it, I guess. And 4 cheese tortellini and marinara sauce. Huh. Desserts. Okay. Peaches, fruit cocktail, pears, pineapple tidbits, strawberries, and rhubarb compote. I'll bet you that's awesome. Mango, peach, apple blend. That's what we got now. We got just cherries. Interesting. I guess that's where all the cherries from the from the fruit cocktail goes. They pick them all out and give you just cherries. Sliced apples, applesauce, caramel apple slices, and blueberries. So there's no like real desserts in 2005. They're all fruits, like some sort of fruit mix or like applesauce type stuff. There's no real desserts. Well, that sucks. Huh. All right. Well, here, let me show you guys the rest of that real quick, and then I'm going to go get those out of the water. Got the beverages right here. Is there anything weird there? Raspberry, coffee, tea, hot chocolate, herbal tea, orange, pineapple, watermelon, raspberry, fruit mix, or mixed fruit, and pear. This mixed fruit is a weird one. Let's see. Soups. Creamy yellow pea soup. Yuck. Cream of celery soup. Yuck. I'm glad I got the beef vegetable noodle soup. Miscellaneous. Crunchy cereals. Honey almond oatmeal. Maple brown sugar oatmeal. Instant dressing. Instant tomato and basil rice. Sour cream and chives mashed potatoes. Instant buttered rice. Bread. Assorted cookies and crackers. Assorted chocolate bars. Chocolate bars? Okay. Jam, jellies, and marmalades. Condiments, coconut pudding. Coconut pudding? Cat, come on, man. I'd like to see that coconut pudding. And mocha pudding. Heck yeah. Alright, let me go get that stuff out of the boiling water. Hey, Cat. Yep, say hello to everybody. Since you've grown up on camera. Here you go. Hi. Her name's Cat. Cat full of poo. Cat Bon Poo. Spelled with a K. And 2 T's. Come on. Come on. Are you going to stay on the table? There we go. Didn't even get anything on the tray yet. Got drinks to fix. Did like going through that menu list though. Alright. Drink. PBJ. Drink. Cookies. Soup. And that's it. Got a bread off to the side here. I guess I can stick that. Well, no, it's staying warm with the main there. All right, let's get this mixed fruit drink. The dog knocked over the Christmas tree onto my table area right here. Kind of messed up some stuff over here. I've got some cool new cups like this. Like, I don't know what kind of tumbler. It's like a beer cup. Same kind of cup you get beer in. Let's see if I got the skills to open just one side of the back here. Maybe keep this packaging because I've never seen it. It has to be a short run of this mixed fruit drink, I would think, since I've never seen it, but maybe it was common. Okay, it's quite pink. Try just the powder. Ooh, wow. Oh my. That is extremely sour. Wow. I can't believe how sour that is. I had to try it again. Yeah, that's... Man. That is really sour. That's more sour than sweet tarts. Or sweet tarts. Is that what they are? No. Pixie sticks have kind of a tartness to them. And sweet tarts also, that's definitely what it reminds me of, but it's more tart than that even. I'm quite surprised at how sour that really is. Oh, I forgot about the maple sauce back here. Mango sauce? Yeah, something like mango sauce. Alright, got water somewhere. There we go. Let's see. Not quite half a bottle, so. A little bit more. That, well, give it just a shade more. That'll do. I want to keep it a little lower than the 227 it calls for. Give it a stir with our broken spoon here. Ooh, that's definitely got a pink color to it. That's for sure. I wonder how that spoon got broke like that. Wouldn't be easy to do with it down inside that bag the way it always, you know, the way it was. Coffee mug. Which coffee mug? Should I go with the Bob Ross? The Tim Tam, you can see it better. Alright, we're going with the Tim Tam for right now. Do I have another drink to fix? Or is it just two? It's just a two. Okay. Instant coffee type 1. There we go. Decent amount of coffee powder there. Looks to be freeze dried, I believe. It doesn't say. Yeah, looks to be freeze dried. Get our whitener in there. Okay. Oops. And our sugar. Hot water. It's got a weird grainy look going. It's got to be that creamer. Yeah, the guy that I got this off of was pretty much convinced that it wasn't going to be, that this ration wasn't going to be any good. But I'll tell you what, I think it's very possible that it's okay. Supposedly it was stored outside for a couple years during some hot and cold weather back and forth, which rations can take that, and they can take the weather outside as long as it's just not prolonged, like 5 to 10 years. A couple years, like I think, especially if it happens early. Well, I don't know if it's better early on or not, to be honest. There's a lot of testing that could be done there as far as how long-term rations really can be. I mean, we know that they can be really long-term, but I mean in not optimal storage conditions. All right, we do have... Let's see, if I put that in here, we're not going to be able to see it either, so... Need a lighter colored drink to put into the, which the coffee would have worked putting it in the Bob Ross mug. I should have done that, but we got foreignmre.com. I have no clue if they got anything up on their website, but this product contains sulfites. I guess there's no nutritional information on here is why they put that on there. Huh. Interesting. actually happen to like this packaging too. I mean, it's only 18 years old, but is it 18 or 19? Let's see. Be 18 years old. Some of it 19, being that it's a lot of this stuff is like early to mid 2004 time frame. So, something else I was thinking of. I don't know if you guys can find Bourbon Street Joe Nola's channel here on YouTube, but he's been posting the crap out of some videos. And, uh-oh, hang on. Piece of lint down in there. All right, now we're good. I think it'd be cool to like picture frame some of this stuff up, especially like you get a ration's worth of cool packaging like that. Do a little like 5x7 packaging frame. It could be cool. It could be done and made to look pretty cool, I'd say. All right, how much water does this call for? 3/4 of a cup. So this only calls for 6 ounces. All right. There we go. It's about 6 ounces. Might be a little bit less, but it's okay. Say, where'd the heck my spoon go? But there it is. Give it a stir. And now let it sit. I can already tell that's going to be awesome. Maple sauce. Mango sauce? Whatever. Whatever you want to call it. I guess if you want to go all out and call it mango applesauce, but I was trying to come up with a cool type of nickname for it. I'm not a fan of it being in pouches like this. Let me grab a bowl. Alright. What I think I'm going to do here is cut off the corner. Oops. Using this little bowl. There we go. It's definitely dark. I should have kneaded it, because it feels like there's some stuff that's more solid up in there. Yeah. That was not a good way to do this, really. Made it more difficult, I do believe. I think that's good enough. This is going back in the box that it came out of. There we go. Alright. What's next? We got a dirty pocket knife, I can tell you that. Got the mango sauce on it. We got bread and our main left to take out over here. So I'll get the bread after I get the main out. Lamb and vegetables. Oh boy. That looks okay. It definitely feels like a stew type consistency in the just feeling the package. But let's find out together. Hopefully this doesn't squirt like it usually does. It's not wanting to tear. I can tell you that. All right. Okay, it smells quite mild. There's not a whole lot of scent coming off of that. All right, let's dump her out. Oh boy, look at them chunks of meat. Lamb, gravy, carrots, peas, potatoes. This is definitely like a stew, I would have to say. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I mean, maybe there's a different word for it. Something like this. No, it's a stew. Super thick soup. Like, I was hoping that there was going to be like a big chunk of meat in there. What menu is like that? There's a menu that's got a big old chunk of meat, and then it's got vegetables and gravy and stuff all around it. I can't remember what menu it was, though. Yeah, it doesn't have, like... I mean, I can kind of smell the potatoes a little bit. As far as the gravy goes, man, there's not like a really savory scent coming off of it or anything, which you would think that there would be. I think this is one of those dishes, just judging by the way it looks, it's going to have more flavor once it cools down a little bit. I guess in like the fat consistency is a little bit thicker. But usually with a lamb, something like this lamb main, you're going to have a fat or a fatty type dish. And if that's an issue for you, then you probably won't like this, which I'm not a huge fan of fat anything. Fat on my chicken, fat on my steak, fat on my pork. But I will also say, just judging by the way this looks, it doesn't look like this is fatty. So that's a good thing. Whoa. Wow. That is dark. Do you guys think that looks extremely dark? That don't look right. Yeah, no. What the heck happened to this bread? Unless it's like a wheat bread. What in the world? I'm not seeing anything on here that's indicating that it shouldn't be white bread. That is extremely odd. I have never once seen bread look like that out of an IMP. But it doesn't look like it's by accident. It does smell funny. It smells very harsh of chemicals. Like it's went through some sort of chemical change. I don't think they did a wheat bread. or even a rye bread. I don't think they did either one. And it is darker on that outside edge, I guess, from being toasted. This just... Bourbon Street says, yay, never seen that bread that dark. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of IMP breads opened up over the years as far as the little loaves like this go. And, yeah, the Geiger counter clicking. Yeah, I can see that. It's like it's irradiated or something. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to have to eat it and find out if it's food still. Maybe I'm going to have to start with that, though. If that doesn't work, then what am I going to... I ain't got nothing to put my jam on unless these are good. I don't like... I wish they would put these in, like, another package. If they would double package them like the United States does with stuff like this, then these would probably be okay. Yeah, well, they don't smell rancid. But they don't smell good either. They have a, it's like the beginning stages of that taste and smell that burns my tongue, which is the fat starting to turn. It kind of has this musty sourness to it. Those, I don't know. We'll find out. Let's just find out, you know. What are you guys fighting over back there? You know what? While I got a clean palate, I want to start with this bread and find out if this is... I mean, look at that. I'm fascinated by this because as far as I know, this is not supposed to be like this. And I've never seen another one like it. Maybe this was like an experimental year of using different bread. I mean, it's consistent, though. See, look, if this bread had went off, right, there would be... No. You're not allowed up here right now. Not with all my food out. Go on. So, look, typically, if bread goes bad, or it'll mold, but if bread's going to go bad, it's going to go bad from the outside in. And you'll see a stark difference from the very center of that piece of bread or loaf of bread, whatever it is, versus the outside. And you'll be able to see where it has crept its way inside. This is consistent all the way throughout it. I mean, there's no difference in the middle as there is to the outside edge. So, I don't know. I just screwed up my tripod. Down the hatch. I'm torn. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I think it's supposed to be like this. Fix my tripod here. There we go. Oh. There we go. It has a sourness to it. It has a bitterness to it. It has a weird flavor that I can't put my finger on, especially not of something like that I've had before. It did leave a weird coating in my mouth. But as far as like concerning side effects, that's it. No numbing or anything yet. sometimes the numbing doesn't hit me until I take the second bite. It's strange that way. But, and you know, the consistency of this feels right too. It feels right. It looks right. It just... I mean, it doesn't taste like any wheat bread that I've ever had before. And it sure is coating my mouth. Well, I do think it's supposed to look like this and be like this. I do think that it has started to go bad. I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research now. I'm going to have to look into the Canadian breads specifically and see if this was ever a thing. Was there ever a wheat or a rye bread produced and put into the, you know, the mid 2000s IMPs? Because this has to have been like this. This is intentional. This is certainly made this way. Because if not, it would taste horrible. It would be extreme. If this was a white bread that looks like this, I mean, it would taste absolutely horrid, and I wouldn't have been able to take a second bite, you know. And I've taken two, you know, fairly decent size bites off of it now, and nothing awful, no real bad side effects other than a little bit of the coating in the mouth, and that could be because of something that's in the bread. Maybe it just was going to do that anyway. Although it does definitely feel like and seem like it's a coating because it started to go bad. So, you know, this is just a weird one. I gotta say, I didn't expect this. And I'll probably eat some more of it. So, I think it'll go good with that bread or that soup. And I think the soup will kill some of the weirdness of the bread. So before this cools down very much more, I want to try it. Let me get a spork out here. Let's take a look at it. As you can see, it's kind of started to cool down on top there and get that more solidified consistency. Certainly very tender chunks of meat all throughout here that look like they're marbled with fat rings throughout them. Nice sliced carrots. Actually looks like they might have been on a mandolin slice. It's got the little ridges on it. So it got fancy with that. See that fat on that? There you go. You can see it. Definitely some fat going on there. Maybe I shouldn't go for such a large bite. Let's get this little piece right here. Just going to go for the meat first. Because if something's going to be bad, in my mind, it's probably going to be the meat. All right, here we go. Huh. It's buttery. The first flavor I got was old, though. Like old ration, old retort pouch flavor. I really don't know. It's its own flavor into itself. There's not anything that I can compare it to and you'd be like, oh yeah, it tastes just like that. No, it's its own thing. And it's consistent throughout all rations. Like it's a flavor that you'll come across time and time again that only comes from rations. Like long-term storage retort pouch food. And I want to say it's making my mouth go numb. It sure is making my tongue and my jaw feel weird. Let's I'm going to go in for another little chunk of meat here. Get that fat off of there, or whatever that is. Get another little bite here and see. I really wanted to try that steak sauce in here. So there's a lot of seasonings going on in here. More of a creamy and buttery kind of situation going on than anything else, though. And a brown, like the stew itself, I think they use the fat, the rendered down fat of the lamb to really make this stew. As far as the vegetables go, let's try the potatoes first. Well, those are a nice consistency. Very nice chew to them. They got actually perfect. Not too soft, not too hard. Huh. Go for a carrot. Nobody did it. That's what she said joke. So the carrot's good. It soaked up a lot of the flavor. All right, I'm just going to go for a little bite of everything here. And hope for the best. Here we go. It's quite tasty altogether. Each element on its own is certainly nothing to write home about. But when eaten all together, it really does have a really nice combined flavor. Now, I will say, it does have a slight numbing effect to it. It's nothing intense, but it is something that I feel like I'm probably going to get a stomachache from. Even no more than I've eaten already. But because whatever that is in there, it has to be like, well, what it's like a numbing agent of some. I don't know what. I need to figure out exactly what is happening there, what causes our mouth to go down, because that's also going down in our stomach, which the stomach acid will neutralize that to a certain extent. And no more than this, no further gone than this is. I feel like my stomach acid's probably able to neutralize anything that's going on here. But it does have a little bit of a stinging effect in my throat, but not enough to make me not eat any more of it. The peas have kept their shape. I thought they were going to be like really tough, but they're not. They're actually really soft. Yeah, it's not horrible, but it's borderline is what I would call that. Most people would not eat this at all. They might taste it and then they would turn their nose up at this instantly. I think I could probably power through this and eat the whole thing and pay for it later with a I would probably say I would end up with a, at least at minimum, a mild stomach ache, if not a little more intense than that. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out, huh? What kind of side effects there are to eating something like this that's right on the edge of being completely bad. Eat some of this weird bread with it. Oh yeah, it's really got a lot of that negative age flavor going on with that bread. Some weird bread, man. Yeah, I don't understand the bread. I really want to try this steak sauce, but I also don't want to waste it. But that's where we're at. So, smaller the hole, the more control, Gundog says. Michael Scott would say that's what she says. G. Schultz would also say that. All right. Get us a bite of this stuff here. Add some really dark looking steak sauce to it. Whoa. Well, that is certainly dark. My goodness. I should have probably tasted that steak sauce before I went putting it on there. That's okay. All right, let me give it a try. Ooh, nope. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I don't know what's wrong with that. That tastes awful weird. It's like, first of all, it's sweet. I don't like any sweet steak sauce. Like, it's sweet, like sugary. Mm-mm. Mm. Yep, and it has, that has made my mouth go numb. That is not good. That is not good at all. I want to scoop that out of there. Be right back. Yep, that's what I figured you did. Come on, dude, hurry up. All right. I gotta move away from that. Like, now that I walked away and got like some fresh air from outside, whole lot of metallic flavor hit me like a ton of bricks. All right, I want to try the cup of soup back here. Beef noodle. All right, here we go. And a little bite. Mm. Very, very beefy. It's exactly like what you would think. If you've ever had this before, it tastes exactly like a brand new one. Very salty, very beefy. Easy to eat. Nice little punch and pack of calories. Mm-hmm. The noodles are nice. Mm-hmm. Got a good bit of onion going on in there. All that little stuff floating on the top is onion. Well, that's been the best thing so far. By a long shot. All right. Mixed. Whoa, what the heck? Are you guys seeing this weirdness? I don't understand what's going on with this coffee. It's got a very dark, almost black look in person. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. That's very strange. I thought when we dumped the water in, it looked like it was churning really weird. But, you know, I've never actually seen a cup of coffee do this before. I've seen it curdle, which is a whole different look and thing in itself. I'm going for the mixed fruit drink. Surely this is okay, right? It was really tart, just the juice on it or the powder on its own. Okay, well, that's Hawaiian Punch. Super refreshing. Got a cherry pineapple dominant flavor going on there, I would say. Oh, that's really good. Very refreshing right now after the kind of strangeness that I've been dealing with inside my mouth. Hawaiian Punch is the nectar of the gods. Yeah, I can't drink much stuff like that anymore. I've been trying to break myself of soda completely too, but I kind of slipped back there during the holiday. I think I was drinking like 2 a day, and maybe even like a day or two I went to 3 in a day, which is way too much. Like I saw a commercial or something, or an ad, where a guy took a bottle of soda and he showed exactly how much sugar was in that bottle of soda. I can't remember what kind of soda it was, but I think it was like 36 grams of sugar, I want to say, and had that dumped it out of a measuring cup or whatever, and I was like, holy crap, like that is an insane amount of sugar to stuff into your body, especially if you drink like 3 of those in a day, on top of anything else sweet that you might happen to ingest. So, yeah, that stupid ad commercial thing has affected my thought process when it comes to that. So, in a good way, in my opinion. But I have been doing pretty daggone good. I don't think I had a soda yesterday at all. I don't think I drank any at all. So, all right, here is our mango sauce. That's like separating. Parts of it are a lot thicker. The outside edge is like real thin. All right, I'm just going to lick the spoon off to start with and see. Usually there's nothing that goes bad with this stuff. Just kind of oxidizes and gets dark, which this probably has. I doubt it was supposed to be this dark. I'd say it was probably supposed to have an orange tint to it. And, you know, be darker than regular applesauce, but not like this. So, oh, you can definitely taste the mango in there. It's really predominant. Almost, well, it is the dominant flavor. You don't taste the apple really at all. Now that's really good. I like that. It's quite tasty. It's got just a wee bit of sourness to it, but it's really nice and sweet, and mainly natural. You know, so that's also a big plus there. Well, let's see if there's any reason to open up the jam and peanut butter. PF. Peak Farms? No. Franz? Peak Franz? I don't know what that is. I mean, I guess it's just a company name. Right there. Peak Franz? Alright, well, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, it seems like it's got a fairly natural consistency when the break there. Give it a little nibble. I'll give it a big bite. Oh. Huh. That has a very, very odd flavor. I gotta go back in for another bite. No weird numbness or anything, so that's a big plus. I can't put my finger on what that flavor is either. Like, initially, when you first bite into it, it's got this strange odor and like a very aromatic flavor that just kind of fills your mouth and nose. And then it kind of levels out into this buttery sweetness that a shortbread cookie you would expect. Huh. Boy, I don't understand what that initial flavor is. But they taste good after you get that, like, that weirdness kind of broken off of them with that first chew or bite or whatever. Okay. Well, give that a try. Well, this makes these kind of taste bitter for some reason. I don't know why, but it did. So I needed this up earlier. It should be good to go. I think I needed this too, didn't I? Did I roll it? I think I did. I can't remember. Double check just to make sure. Alright, I've never had peanut butter go bad, so I'm not even going to worry about that. Let's put a little bit of that on here. Ooh, a little runny. A little bit thin. I've never thought peanut butter and a shortbread mix very well together. The peanut butter is really nice, though. It's got a somewhat savory flavor to it. I don't really pick up on any of that sweetness that I think they kind of motivated towards or leaned towards later. Well, in the past, I'd say probably 7 to 10 years of the newer IMPs that I know of. Could have went back further than that. Boy, that is some dark strawberry jam. Holy cow. It looks like grape. Huh. Spread it out a little bit and see if we got any. Not really. I mean, you could tell me that was blackberry jam and I'd probably believe you. Look at that. Let's give it a try. See what it tastes like. Huh. Well, I'm going to have to try that on its own, just out of the package, because that's got a strange flavor. got a really weird consistency too. Okay, I wouldn't say it tastes bad or anything like that. It just has a very strange, like solidified consistency to it. There's no looseness to it. It has gotten very solid in its consistency. But it still tastes like strawberry jam. It's actually quite good just eating it out of the pack like that. It's just that, honestly, that texture. I mean, it's sweet, it's sour, it's strawberry, and it's a little weird. So, yeah, I'm not complaining, though. It's all right. Let's try another bite with just more of it. Uh-oh, there's some runny. I must not have got that kneaded up very good because it just got kind of wet. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Okay, coffee. Well, I'm going to try to just mix it up. Oh, no! Oh, my God. Oh, wow. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to scoop this off. Wait, we got to investigate this a little bit. That straight up had a freaking film on top of it. When I went to shove the spoon in it, it stuck to the spoon. Have you ever seen them like dip things, like helmets and car rims and stuff like that? If they wanted to put, that's exactly what that was like. Oh, that's so strange. Oh, and it's like slimy. Oh my God, it's like, oh, that is so weird. Uh, all right, I'll be back. I'm going to see if I can scoop all this off the top. Okay, I just have to come back and show you this because this is after I ran it underneath the water. That's after I ran it underwater. It did not come off the spoon. I am shocked. I'm literally going to have to take my fingers and like rub it off of there. I'm shocked. Good. Good job, cat. Right my way. I cannot believe this. Wow. Alright, I know that was a lot of trouble to go to for a cup of coffee, but it was also fascinating. I think I got almost all of it. And I cleaned the super thick ring off of the side of the cup that was there. You can still see a little bit of it right here, right there. Alright, let's see if this coffee tastes awful. Here we go. Huh. So I can taste the bad milk in there. Yeah. It's not horrible though. I would certainly drink this if it was the apocalypse, like, without question. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the apocalypse for me to drink it. Been a while since I had a cup of coffee. A while. And it's actually, yeah, it's not that good. It's not very good at all. Man, that sucks. Yeah, I had no idea that that was going to happen when I stuck my spoon in there. It just kind of, yeah, I mean, it like electroplated it or something. Just coated the spoon perfectly. Really weird. And then when I ran it under the water, when I went back in there, the hot water was hot, and I stuck it underneath there. It didn't come off still. Like, it didn't dissolve it. The hot water didn't. So I had to scrub it off with my thumb. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. All right. So last time I did a live stream, Trucker had sent a box. And when he did that, what is it? Coat your stomach better than Pepto-Bismol. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's probably true, because the way that coated that, it was unbelievable. I've never seen anything else like that I can think of. Not that was food. Because usually, like, hot water will do something to it. It did nothing to it. See, Maddog. What's up, Maddog? Trucker sent these smokes right here. These Export A Smooths. And Smitty sent me a pack of Export A's years ago. I still have one or two of those. And they were like smaller and skinnier than what a regular cigarette would be here. And these, I can't remember how they open. Yeah, it must be the other side. Oops. Oh, no, not that side. Like this. And I took one out of here. Well, I took a couple. I think I smoked 3 out of here, maybe 4. I enjoyed one off camera, or maybe 2. It's got 2, 4, 6. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 9 in this one side, and I think there was 12. There might have been 13, because in total there are 25. Yeah, 25. This is a 25 pack. So one side has 12 and the other side has 13. I did figure that out last time. Now, where are my matches? I guess I'm going to have to open a new thing of matches. Brand new. From 2005. I did find the lighter that K-Man sent me years and years ago for my birthday. He sent this to me, like, I'm going to say probably 5 years ago, roughly. It still works. It needs some butane. Question. I have a question for you guys. Have you ever had one of these lighters, first of all, butane lighter that you refill? Second of all, have you ever had any luck or success with refilling the butane lighters and then working consistently after you use up the first bit of fuel that comes in it, and then you refill it with your own butane? Have you ever had luck with it actually lighting properly after that? That's my question. Because I do not have any luck with refilling butane lighters. I do not understand what I'm doing wrong. I've tried all the different types of butane that they sell, or brand name butanes that they sell, and I've been horribly unlucky. I have not had it on live chat until just now. Alright, I should have took that match off the back and I took it off the front. First strike. I got a cigar right here I'd really like to smoke. But I don't smoke cigars in the house. They stink. They stink and they linger. The smell lingers like forever. Can't do it. Cigarettes are bad too. Really bad. Alright. Conversation. Let's that, but I have a small butane torch that works when I refill it. So, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about, K-Man, and that's actually the only type of lighter, butane lighter, that I've ever had any luck with, that I've been able to refill and continue to use. But it didn't work the same after the refill, not like it did initially with that first bit of fuel that came with, but it did continue to work after that. That's the only one that I have that continues to really work. Like, I guess I had matches right there. I mean, this one's still got a little bit. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay. By the way, thank you again, Trucker, for these smokes, man. The smokes and that whole box of stuff you sent me. Desserts and stuff like that. I got some other stuff that I haven't went through yet in that box that he sent, which I guess I could get that out right now. Anyways, I got the Ronson butane fuel, and I got the Zippo butane fuel. I trust the Zippo more than I trust the Ronson, but and I seen somewhere, I don't know how correct this is, but you're supposed to hold them upright when you fill them. And it definitely got cold. And this is a leather wrapped. Nothing. Oh. It's probably not the lighter to keep butane lighters for my grill. One or two old school Zippo style lighters. Nostalgia. Rest I gave away over the years since I no longer smoke. Well, I have a Zippo collection that goes back to my grandpa. I got some that belonged to my grandpa, my dad's dad, and a couple that belonged to my dad. Zippos and some other lighters. I guess I have a lighter collection. And then I have my own collection that I've amassed over the years of probably. Last time I had them all together and seen them all, I probably had 50 of my own. And then probably 15 or so between my dad and my grandpa's lighters. Like, as far as I know, my grandpa never smoked that I remember. I don't remember him smoking. But he did have lighters. Maybe he smoked before my time. But I've got it's probably I'd say it's from the 50s. Brand new Zippo, still in the box, all the paperwork, everything like that. I think I've got two of those that my dad gave me in a box of stuff that have my kids' names written on. He wrote on the boxes. Or maybe he didn't. Maybe he put a post-it or something on it, like a little sticker name. And then pocket knives. I got 3 pocket knives from him, from Dad, for the kids. And then I think I got 1 or 2 that were my grandpa's as well. They were all brand new ones. He must have been like a collector, kind of like I am also, because he'd get like a brand new pocket knife instead of using it because it's too nice. He'd put it up in the top drawer or something. I'll do stuff like that. Like, oh, that's way too nice to use. Depending on what it is. I know my first case knife that I ever got, the carbon steel case XX. Bought it back in like 90. I'm going to say like 94 probably. See, I'd have been 12. Yeah, probably like 93 or 94. And my stepdad bought it for me. And I used it a little bit, I think, in the very beginning there, like carried it. I didn't need it. And then I put it up. But when I put it up, I didn't know this. I had no clue. I had touched the blade. And I put it up with my finger oils on it. And the next time I seen it, oh, it was bad. I mean, it's still bad, but I cleaned it up the best I could. But with that carbon steel, like if you don't take immaculate care of it, it will rust, like really bad, discolor, turn black. And I have that pocket knife, but it's definitely one that I can use if I want to. But it's just I don't. When I use a pocket knife, because when I use a pocket knife, a lot of times I'm using it, like putting pressure on it. I want a knife that locks. And I've had this happen to me, using a case knife or like a folder like that, using it, and it'll fold on your fingers. If you're not careful, you got to be super careful and realize that thing, so you got to keep your fingers out of the line of fire, basically. And if it's going to fold up, it ain't going to fold up on your fingers. As a matter of fact, I was using that pocket knife, that particular pocket knife, that case, and I was prying wedges out of an axe. It was my grandpa's old axe. I was taking old wedges out of there, and I was going to re-secure the blade, putting new wedges in. And I was digging those old wedges out like that. And when I was digging it out, it slipped, and I don't know why I did this. I went to go stick it back down in there real fast, like it was going somewhere or something, and I stabbed right through my hand. I don't know if you can see it, all the way through from one side to the other. And what was like, I went like right straight through it, right out real fast, because I realized what I'd done because I saw it go in, and I pulled it right back out. I can see the scar myself. I think there's too much light. It's right there at the end. Basically, right here. Right there. And I stuck that knife all the way through my hand, came out the other side, and I pulled it out. And when I done that, I must have nicked like the tendon, because it drew my thumb up like immediately. My thumb went. I was like, oh God, and it was like the weirdest, almost like you. I don't know if you guys have ever had your bones touched before by anything, but it was almost like that. I know whenever I was having debridements done on my leg, my bone was exposed. I had such an open wound. I mean, my wound was like that, and you could see my bone. It was awful. And they'd go in with a scalpel and this other scraper thing that looked like a looked like something you would peel an apple with or something. It kind of a arched shape, and then kind of arched shape like that, and then it would come back down to one point attached to the handle, and they'd scrape it, and I had my bone hit consistently while I was awake, and not only does it hurt, and you feel it, there's also this other element to it. I don't know if it's just psychological or what, but it like goes through your whole body and like gives you chills. It's just a it's a weird feeling. But anyways, when I did that, it had like this like a rough rubbing effect. When I stabbed through my hand, it sucked. It did suck. But heck, it didn't bleed for like, I had that knife razor sharp, super sharp. I don't know why I was using it, prying that. I was young and stupid. I was living here, so it would have been like, it was probably 14 years ago, I would say, when I was living. It was living in this house, because I was in the side yard over there trying to fix that axe. Dumb. Okay, so I'll give you guys a little bit of a breakdown of where I've been. Now, obviously, last week, New Year's Eve, pretty self-explanatory why I didn't live stream on New Year's Eve. And then the week before was Christmas Eve, pretty self-explanatory yet again. I mean, obviously I was busy Christmas Eve, that always am. Christmas Eve's always hectic, even though my kids are grown now. It's still, it hasn't eased up enough yet. Like we still need to ease up a lot on the Christmas stuff, in my opinion. So the first week that I missed, I had a family dinner, and we were going to have on the Mitchell side of my family, which is my dad's side. And oh, what in the world is going on with that? I'll have to show you guys. I'll have to show you guys that here in a minute. Okay, I forgot to plug my phone in whenever we first started. Nope. I didn't hear it. All right, timeout. Okay, it's charging. So anyway, the first week had that dinner, the family dinner, and then we were supposed to go look at Christmas lights afterwards, and which we did. No, we didn't. Or did we? I don't know. Sometime we ended up going and doing that. And looking at Christmas lights down in Gallipolis. They have this thing down there that they put together that's like a little, it's in the city park. Well, city. It's not a city anymore. They lost their city status years ago now. Their population back when I lived down there was like almost 13,000, and now their population's less than 3,000. Like, that is the type of stuff that's going on in these rural areas like I live in. The population's dropping. It's weird in general. All right, let's see if this works. Anyways, that was the first week. Nope. Try putting the Ronson fuel in it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what I don't know. It never even sounds like anything goes in. Maybe I'm supposed to like turn. It almost looks like there's a lock on that. Let's see if that does anything. I'm sure that was probably nothing. Anyways, that was why I missed the first week. And then the second week, so in like November, I want to say like November 16th or 18th. Can't remember which. I had a really long phone conversation with one of my good friends, Mike. And me and him spent a lot of time talking about my buddy, Chris, that passed away a year ago this past October. So it's been a year and a couple months now. Not even, yeah, year and a couple months that he unalived himself. And me and my friend Mike were talking at length about doing a memorial service for him because he never had one. His dad didn't do anything. I don't know how the rest of his family let him get away with that, but he had literally nothing, like nothing at all was done. Especially as far as public, his friends, and I don't think there's anything done family-wise either. I could be wrong about that. I'm not claiming that for sure. I don't know that for sure, but it. Anyway, me and Mike were talking at length about that, like where we were going to do it. It's just me and him was going to plan it. We'd been talking about it on and off for almost well. At that point, probably we'd been talking on and off about it for probably 10 or 11 months, probably since like January, when we had another friend that passed away. But anyway, so me and him were talking, and I could tell he wasn't himself. Like he did not feel good, and you could hear it in his voice that he sounded like he had a really bad case of the flu or something. And he told me that he'd been putting off a surgery on his, I think it was his shoulder. He'd been putting the surgery off. It wasn't anything crazy or anything. It was like a shoulder surgery or elbow or something. It was like a joint surgery. And he'd been putting it off for a couple months is what he told me. And he was due to go in to the hospital the next day and get it taken care of. He should have been in and out. When he goes into the hospital, like I said, he was sick, and they kept him and wouldn't do the surgery. So that was day one, which would have been like the 17th or the 19th. I can't remember. My call log is on this phone that I'm using right here. I can tell you exactly what day it was. We had the 2-hour conversation. But the next day is when he went in the hospital, and then he just kind of went downhill really fast. And they put him into a medically induced coma. And then they put him on a ventilator. And also think they gave him some medications that probably weren't right for him on where he was on. He had arthritis medication and he was on where he had bad arthritis. Or at least that's what he thought was wrong with him. And I'm not so sure that was really all of his problem. I think he was probably ate up with this this like bacterial infection that. So they claim that he died from valley fever. That Mike passed away on December 6th from valley fever, and I don't know. I know he talked to his brother, um, which is like an investigator for the Homeland Security or something like that. He's like a lead investigator for Homeland Security, and I know he talked to him on the phone while he was in the hospital. As far as like talking to his friends, I very possibly could have been the last one that talked to him, since it was the day before he went in. And I had planned on going to, he was in Columbus. I had planned on going to Columbus that morning. Or that day, I had planned on going. And I got up, like getting ready to go. And then I found out that he had passed at 6 o'clock that morning. Well, it's kind of weird, okay? So I haven't really talked about this out loud at all that I can think of. Told my mom probably, you know, maybe a couple people like that. But day before yesterday, I can't remember what, I clicked into like Google on this iPhone. It just automatically has like, it's Google's front page, all the crap that they have up there, and it had this article that was talking about how these bacterial infections that they used to think were only in certain areas like out west have been becoming a lot more common all over the United States. And so what they said he died from, valley fever, is something that you really only get out west in dry climates, which he worked out west all the time. Like, literally, no, he lived out west. He visited back here. That's more schedule-wise, that's more what he did. You asked him where he lived, he lives here. He always lived here, but he spent a lot of time working out there. I think what was his schedule? I think he came home every weekend. They flew him home every weekend. He was the superintendent of the job, so he had a good job and was well paid, and he loved his job. He really liked his job. Yeah, it's a soil thing. It's something you get out of the dust, out of the soil, and he was in demolition, so very dusty type work. But I can guarantee you it's something. Well, I can't guarantee you 100%, but I can pretty well bet on it's something he'd probably never heard of. It's something I'd never heard of. It's something we just don't know about living where we live here in West Virginia. It's not something that I've ever encountered in my entire life. Never heard of it. Never knew anything about it. Maybe people that live out west, it's more of a common thing, and it's something that if you catch it early, it's not a big deal to take care of it. But if you don't catch it early and it's in you for a long time, then sometimes it takes you like a 6-month spurt of medication, and then if you end up having it as bad as he had it, if he would have lived through that, he would have been on medication for the rest of his life. So. which I would much prefer that would have been the case. I'm sure he wouldn't have minded taking the medication. And he's got a young daughter that he left behind, his wife. But I would say, if it's not something that you know about, I would say educate yourself a little bit, especially if you live out there. If you live anywhere in those drier, warm, dry climates, because I guess there's like 6,000 cases a year, from what I understand. Get this stupid dog. Oh. Well, I mean, he didn't want to miss work. I get that, and he's a man, and from where we're from, it's not uncommon for men to hide things like that. You know, you don't want to show weakness. You don't want to ask for help. You don't want to go to the doctor if you don't really need to. And the thing is now, you know, if he'd have just went and they figured out what it was early on, like, they could have taken care of it easily. And I wish he would have done that. I wasn't sure whether I should even talked about this, because I probably shouldn't. To be honest, I probably shouldn't be talking about it. Maybe I should. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe by me talking about it, it'll save someone down the road. Maybe someone will be like, well, hey, maybe I might have that, like, valley fever stuff, and go get it checked out, and you don't end up getting super sick with it. I think, as far as it being lethal, it's very uncommon. I think it does happen, and I think it does happen every year. And it probably typically happens to someone in a situation like what he was in, or like we're in. Number one, you never heard of it. You don't know anything about it. Number two, you work somewhere where the stuff exists, and then you come back home, you know, or it's like a constant back and forth. Like, that seems like a more probable scenario for someone that is going to have it and not know anything about it. Because you come back here, and I'm going to loosely say this because I feel like it's probably it's not something that doctors around here deal with. It's not something they see coming in. It's just not something that happens here. It's not something that's common, for sure. It's got to be very uncommon. And the only people that would have something like this going on would be people that work out west and bring it back here. So, or you could be visiting out there for a weekend, and you could pick it up and bring it back. But I'd say he had it for months, and it just, you know, like I said, it's one of those things where guys they're going to fight that and try to keep all of their manliness in check as long as they can. And sometimes, I'll tell you, recently I went to the doctor because of stuff that I typically wouldn't have went for. Number one, just to have something checked out. And number two, it was something I thought, well, if this is something, I don't want it to just continue to be let go and get worse and cause me more problems. So I just went ahead, sucked it up, and I went to deal with it. Am I glad that I went? No. Basically, they looked at me like I was an idiot when I came in there. They told me that what I was showing them and what I was thinking was something wrong with me. Oh, that's nothing. That's you're fine. There's nothing there. I was like, are you sure? Because, like, I've been in this body my whole life, and, like, that's not something that's always been there. That's something that's new. And then, of course, they tried to explain to me somehow that was okay. So, again, I have gotten another opinion on it, and I intend to get one more. So, not something I would typically do. I'll tell you another thing too. Like, I don't trust doctors anymore. Not anything to do with what's happened in the past couple of years. It's stuff that's happened to me in the past. How long has it been now? 7 years. Really, stuff that's happened to me in the past 7 years. I'll tell you another. I think I might have told you guys about this, but I had a freaking tick on me, right here. That's been a couple months ago now, probably. But I had a tick on me, and I had Amber come in and take it off with tweezers because it was just in a spot that, and my arm had been rubbing it right there. Like when I raised my arm up, I don't know, it was a weird spot. Anyway, I had her take it off, and when she did, she didn't get the head of it. And, like, she could not get the head off of it. So I stood there for, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours that night trying to get it myself, and, like, I would get little tiny pieces of something, but it was in there. So the next day, I'm thinking, okay, I could end up with Lyme disease. I could end up, like, sick from this. I'm just going to go, let them cut it out of me, and be done with it. I'll, simple enough. So I get there, and they, first of all, they treated me like a spectacle. No, get your claws out of my table and stay down. So anyways, I get in there, and the doctor comes in, and I tell her why I'm there. And I could tell immediately, like, this is not something she's used to, or maybe she's never dealt with it. So she goes out and calls another doctor in. Hey, come here and look at this. Okay. Then they call another one in. So now there's 3 doctors in there. And I asked her, I said, can you just make a little cut right there and take it out? And she's like, oh no, it'll work its way out. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, it'll come out on its own. Okay. So they give me medication, antibiotics, to take over, I want to say it was like a 10-day period. I think they gave me like 20 of these antibiotics over a 10-day period. And I looked at her and I said, hey, I don't know if you know my chart or if you've looked at it at all. I said, but I have been on a lot of medication over the past 7 years. A lot of antibiotics, a lot of other stuff. I was like, are you sure you want to put me on that low of a antibiotic, that low level of an antibiotic? Shouldn't you put me on something a little bit stronger since, judging by my past? And she's like, oh, no, that'll be fine. She didn't look at it or anything. Didn't have a clue what I was even talking about. And just stuck with her original decision. And so I monitored this place on me with the tick in it for, I don't know, definitely the solid next week, every day looking at it and checking. I never seen the head of that thing come out. So I don't know what happened to that. I do now have a scar from that night when I dug on it. I'm trying to get it out of there. But so that was another instance recently where I went where I typically would not have went. Had my family telling me like, oh, you really need to go. You don't want to end up with Lyme disease. And I'm like, I'm not going to end up with freaking Lyme disease. But they convinced me to go because I was not going to go. But I do think in some situations it's better to just be safe rather than sorry later. And especially with the most extreme situation that you could possibly have with my buddy that just passed away, just being a horrible situation. I couldn't be much more disappointed in the way. I mean, I could be. It's just awful. There's no way to put it in words that makes sense. You can't make sense of something like that. Anyways, to change the subject, that was before Christmas. So, and like, what happened through Christmas? Have you guys? Did you guys get anything cool for Christmas? That I know I asked it earlier, but I wasn't able to look at the chat. I didn't have live chat on, which I do now. Did you get anything cool for Christmas? My mom got me a. Hang on, I'll go get it. I have not, obviously, I haven't put it up yet. I hate this phone. I really need to invest. It's just not working. It's showing me hitting it. Huh. All right. Here, well, look what's going on with this applesauce. You guys see that? What the heck is that? It looks like I accidentally put some of that steak sauce in there. The steak sauce is awful, by the way. All right, let's get the camera flipped back around so I can talk to you guys. Spent Christmas alone, Wyoming adventures. So I haven't watched any ration reviews in a long time, and I've been thinking about, like, I intended to do that today, and I didn't get time beforehand. So Mom got me a Ring doorbell, which is kind of cool. I live in a brick house, and I know I can go and drill it and put those fasteners in there, and screw this thing up out there. But I'll be honest, I probably won't. I probably won't hang this up until I move to a different place. And then she also got me a pocket watch. Of some kind. I'm not sure what brand or whatever it is. She probably ordered it online somewhere or something. I can't imagine where she got this at. To be quite honest, I don't think it came from like a Walmart or something, although it could have. I don't know. Does that box look familiar to anybody? I don't know where she got it at. It's pretty lightweight though. And it doesn't have, the back doesn't open up on it as far as I can tell. And it should. A good real pocket watch. Back should open up. It sounds like it does. There's no hinge back there, so it does not. Wait. I don't know, man. That's weird. And the front should have two covers, not just one. I've got a couple real, like, decent older pocket watches. And it's keeping time. 11:15. There's no watchmaker on it though, which is kind of weird that it's not branded by a watchmaker. And the dial was kind of offset a little bit, it looks like. Anyways, what tuna get? I see good gift tuna. Tuna. You got Ring cameras all over? Cool. So have you guys, has anybody gotten one of these is what I really want to know. I'd like to hear some genuine feedback on, have you seen those cameras that screw into light sockets? They go wherever a light would go. They have a light on them as well, but they have their own Wi-Fi signal. They create their own Wi-Fi signal. So, and you can pick them up like from anywhere. Probably just like a Ring. I'd say a Ring does the same thing. But the way they articulate, they spin down like this, and then you can rotate it so you can get a 360-degree look, and by using your phone, you spin it around and spin it to a different direction, and it just screws into a regular light socket. Pretty cool. If you haven't seen them, I would highly recommend you look them up. Last I seen one, it was like $40, I think, something like that. It has those cameras, and he loves them. Oh, really? The ones I'm talking about? Cool, because I was considering getting one of those for my front porch that I could move around and stuff, and I wouldn't have to drill through the brick and stuff out there to put it up. I could just put it up there in the light, because the light that I have on my front porch, it's got a piece of frosted glass underneath it, which I could put a piece of clear glass in there to resolve that, or just take it out temporarily. But the way that light is, it has two light sockets, and I've only got one bulb in it because it's plenty bright with one bulb. So I just put one bulb in it, and the other side's open, so I could put one of those cameras there, and it wouldn't be taking up a light spot or anything like that. It'd be good, and I'm pretty sure those things have lights on them. The ones I was looking at, I'm pretty sure do have lights on them. So, I mean, I know these things are good and all. I have zero trust in our government to not take advantage of stuff like this. Built-in recharge, and that was another thing. Like, how does this thing charge? Do I need to run wires out there to it? Probably. It says built-in rechargeable battery, equipped to hardwire, so you can hardwire it in. 1080p HD video, two-way talk. So I like that aspect. Somebody's out there and I'm not home or something like that, I can just, say, hey, get off my porch. Live view, real-time notification, privacy controls, night vision, ring protection plan, video and photo history, people-only mode, so it won't pick up dogs and animals and stuff, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, motion alert, and quick replies. Subscription sold separately. So there's obviously a subscription that you need for all that to work. I don't know. We'll see if I end up going down this route or not. I've thought at length about this, and I'm thinking about possibly building my own house, because the price of construction materials has went down to what I would consider to be normal levels. The last I checked locally here, 2x4s, if you bought more than 50 2x4s, they were $3.18. If you just bought them one at a time, they were $3.35. Sheets of OSB, like crappy plywood, which you wouldn't want to use on your floors. I would think you'd want to do something better than that for your subfloors. But OSB is what everybody talks about when they say plywood prices, and they were $8.20, I think $8.20 a sheet. And at the same time, I talked to Smitty up in Canada, and Smitty told me up in Canada at that exact same time, I think the plywood prices were over $100, and 2x4s were like $40 a piece up there. You got a Blink, and it's owned by Amazon too. Awesome. I'll tell you what, have you guys ever watched any of the stuff about Shaquille O'Neal and like the investment opportunities that he has literally stumbled into and fell into? Like, it's ridiculous. Ring was one of the ones that I know he did, and then he bought like the rights to I'm going to assume her image, Marilyn Monroe. He had who else did he, like, the list whenever he listed that off was pretty astounding, that he bought those the rights to those images. I want to say it was Marilyn Monroe, Yeah, it was some big ones. It's crazy though, the Shaq's investment history and what he owns shares in and stock in and stuff is just crazy. LaView bulb camera on Amazon, Kaylin says. Yeah, I'm sure I could pull one up on eBay and show you guys what I'm talking about. We'll see how much they are on eBay. Because it seems like they might have been more affordable than I said. They might be less than $40. Whoa. Oops. I was getting notifications. Oh. Whoa. Yeah, they're way cheaper. $17.99 each. Free shipping. Here. $18. Full color night vision, two-way audio. So you, same thing as the Ring, except you can't push the button and ring the doorbell like that. Hotspot, monitor detection or motion detection, panoramic fisheye, TF card storage, so you can actually put a card in it. Storage. I don't think the Ring has that, so that you have to buy their cloud storage and space, which I think is bullcrap. As easy as replacing a light bulb. I don't know, but I want to try one of these out. I mean, for $18, like, it's certainly worth trying, I feel like. It has a 355-degree range of motion, so it won't spin completely 360, which why would it need to? Intelligent detection, it says. Interact with your family and pets in real time. That's a cool feature. Same as the Ring, though. As entered the motion area, the camera will automatically alarm. That's cool. Cloud storage and memory card. You get both. So you can do cloud through some sort of system. Pictures not focused on. Anyways, pretty cool. I've seen these, and I think this would be an affordable way for most people to go. And this way you don't have to hardwire it in. Like, realistically, for that Ring to work properly, I'd have to hardwire it in. I don't know how long it would last on a recharge, on being rechargeable, especially being outside in the cold, as cold as it is. I don't know if you guys know this, but in the cold like that, batteries get drained a lot quicker versus it being nice and warm. They prefer it to be warm, batteries do. Anyways, I thought these were super cool, especially for the price. That's what it was. They were advertising them on television, and that's when they were $40. Oh, and the Ring has to have internet to work too. Okay, Spicy says that. Which, I mean, I've got good internet here, so I pay for the best offered. But probably about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, something like that, I had Suddenlink, and I've had Suddenlink for years and years here, and probably about 3 or 4 months ago, which it was longer ago than that they announced it, and they also changed their name on the phone, like when you call to pay the bill or whatever. But they switched over to Optimum, and when they done that, like, my son really started seeing the difference in the ping being really, really bad, especially during certain times. It's really bad. The internet's just not what there's no way that I'm getting anything near what I'm paying for, is what I'm trying to say. Hey, what's up, Tim? Got lamb stuck in my teeth. Smoke one of these Camels and then call it a night. The next time I do a Polish ration, I don't know when that'll be, but I might have to do it before then. Even I want to get a pack of those smokes that Delicious sent, and open up at least one pack of those. At least. I don't know that he really wants me to open them up, though, is the thing. Well, I just lost the cellophane off of that pack. That sucks. This bag that I got these in, they fit in it perfectly. Keeps them pretty fresh. And I got a heck of a deal on these when I got these too. There's a guy on eBay that's got some real nice vintage packs. But they're overpriced a bit. I feel like he had a pack of Philip Morris up. He had a pack of Aviations or Aviators that was a French. I think it was Aviators. I think they were French, but they were French Canadian, I believe. And then he had another pack. I'll tell you what, years ago, you'd be able to consistently find some decent smokes on eBay, but they put a stop to that. Like he won't be around very long doing that. I can pretty much guarantee you that, because they just don't allow it. I had a couple packs listed a few years ago, and they didn't make it a day, and eBay was like, "You violated our terms of service and agreements," and I was like, "No, I didn't. They're empty packs." And they didn't care. They banned me from selling on eBay for like 2 weeks, which whatever. I mean, it's not like I did it all the time. Sold crap. I very rarely have sold anything on eBay. Wow, that's a full flavor. Holy cow, that's strong. Good Lord. Tastes like, ugh. Tastes like that urea. And what I wouldn't give to find a sealed can of Philip Morris. God, it would be hard for me to get to the point of actually opening them up. But I would love to find a can. You know, right there's an open can. I'd love to find a can. Well, I did see some a couple years ago. Well, a couple years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago now. There was a can of those came up. There was a can of Lucky Strikes that was like 100-pack can. It was huge. That can had to be about that big around. It was a great big can. And then whenever I bought a pack of Old Golds that are C-store. I think they're C-store Old Golds, and they come in a metal like protective case. And at that same time, there was a can of Philip Morris up, but at the time, the guy wanted like $65 for it. And 6 years ago, that was an insane price for something like that. Now, if that was to pop up sealed like that, military also, you're looking between $150 $200 is what somebody'd ask for something like that. all day long. Oh, I'll be daggone. Huh. I have to look at that stuff later. Oh, so let me tell you guys what I had planned for tonight that got squashed by the douchebag on eBay that I won this auction from. So it's been about 2 weeks ago now, probably. I bid on a World War II lifeboat and lifecraft ration. It was 1944. It was like December of 1944, I believe, or it might have been January of 45. Can't remember. I'd have to look it up. Anyways, so I bid on it, and I bid all the way up. You know, last minute, I'm like, yeah, I really wanted to win this. It was a little bit rough, but it wasn't dented up very bad. It had like one little dent on the bottom, but it was really faded, especially one side, and you could tell it had been scuffed up moving it around, or it had been scuffed up pretty bad. Like a lot of the paint was rubbed off of it. It wasn't nowhere near perfect like the one that I have is. The one that I have is like museum quality. Like it and the water I believe that I have are like a matching set. I haven't looked at them in a long time, but it was one of the gray ones. It would have either had the D ration bars or it would have had the Hershey bars in it, the red ones. It would have had one or the other. Anyway, I paid for it after I win it, which was like on a probably like a Wednesday or something like that. And like a week goes by, and I checked the mail, and I thought, man, that thing should be here. And I checked eBay, and it said in transit. And there wasn't any information, like it had never been picked up or shipped or anything like that. And I was like, huh, well, that sucks. And then that evening or the next day, one or the other, I can't remember which was, not long after that, the same day or the next day, I happened to log into eBay, go through my messages, and it said cancellation, bid cancellation or something like that. And I was like, what the heck is this? Because it doesn't show you or tell you what it is. It gives you an item number to click into. I click into it, and it is my lifeboat and lifecraft ration. And now I can't leave feedback either because they canceled it, and then after that they refunded the money, and their excuse was lost or damaged is what they said. And I messaged them twice. I was like, hey, what's going on with that? Like, if it's damaged, I might be able to deal with that. Like, if it's got a dent or something, it's like I'm not too worried about that because I planned on opening it. Like, I was buying it to open it on the live stream. That was the whole point of doing it. Like, that was the whole point of me buying it, was to have something cool like that, World War II era, to open up on a live stream. That was the whole point. I think I had like, it wasn't much. Well, I mean, it was a lot, but it wasn't a lot for what it was. I think I had a little over $100 in it. Which, like I said, I mean, that's a lot of money to spend on something that you're just going to open up, but it's also something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and it was like the perfect opportunity, and we could check it out and see. Like, it wasn't handled too roughly, it didn't look like, but it did look like it had seen maybe some time in the sun or something, like to fade it the way it was. But the guy never messaged me back at all. Clearly, they were not happy with the price they got, would be my bet, and they backed out. But they waited a really long time to do so. Like, usually if somebody is going to do something like that, they back out pretty immediately. Like, sometimes before you can even pay for it, they'll just cancel it and you're screwed. Which I don't like the fact that eBay takes away your ability to leave feedback to a person that you bought something from, who canceled your order without even contacting you to let you know anything at all. That's not cool, man. Had they contacted me and had like a legitimate something to talk to me about, dude, I'm really easy to get along with. I would have been like, whatever, okay, it happens, and I'd let that go. But this this sucks the way they did it. I did not. I felt disrespected in a way, and I feel like they definitely played the system. Wouldn't surprise me if somebody didn't message them and offer them more money for it or something, is what I was kind of thinking in my head. Like somebody probably messaged them and offered them 20 more bucks or 50 more bucks or something like that. And they said, yeah, that's fine. I'll cancel his and send it to you. Whatever. I could see somebody doing that. You got to hit this Hawaiian punch. Middleman sellers are the worst. I hate eBay sellers that sell stuff, but they don't have the item itself on hand. I don't know that I've dealt with that very often, that I know of. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Well, Mike, shipping is expensive. Like, that's something a lot of people don't think about or realize. So, just for instance, take a medium flat rate box that you can't get a whole lot into. Like a medium flat rate, I got right here. A medium flat rate is a pretty small box, right? And this medium flat rate now is like 17 something. I want to say it's 17 something to ship one of those. I can remember not that long ago, small flat rate was like $5.50. Medium flat rate was like, I want to say like 9 something, and a large flat rate was like 14 and like 14.90 or something like that. And then, according to the post office lady that I talked to, every single year they jack the prices up around Thanksgiving time, sometime in November. And then, according to her, I don't know how true this is because I don't remember the prices ever coming back down, but she said the prices come back down after the first of the year. And they've been doing this every year for a few years now, quite a few years probably. So that's how the prices have increased. And maybe when they do the decreased price after the first of the year, they don't take it down as much as it was before, obviously, because the prices just keep going up. Nope. Come here. Come here. Say hello to everybody. Say hi. Oh, where's your Lucy Goosey? Lucy Goosey. Yeah, Alex called you Goose. Gave you the name Goose. And I came up with Lucy Goosey. She's going to be a huge cat. She's really, like, affectionate towards me. So, like, she'll rub her head back on me. Won't you, Lucy? You love me? She's going to be a huge cat. In a couple years, when she fills out, she is going to be massive. No, yes, you love me, don't you? You're purring up a storm. Yes. Yeah. They had some kind of deal where you can buy flat rate boxes, some lower rate, and well, I'll tell you one way you can get shipping, I would say considerably cheaper, is by doing it online. Like, see, they'll ship you all of the supplies for free, as far as like flat rate boxes go. They'll give you as many flat rate envelopes, different size flat rate boxes. They'll give you all that stuff for free, and then if you set it all up online and print your labels out online, it's I don't know how much cheaper it is, but it is cheaper. This is really good. I don't know why they did away with this flavor. That is considerably better than a fruit punch. Like, considerably better. To me. Now, somebody else might have a different opinion of it, but for me, this is awesome. Collar Tank. Dude, my mom has this cat that I gave her. It's a sibling. Okay, so the first cat we ever had here, living here, we call her Minnie because she's got legs that are about that long. She showed up. It was the only cat we had for many years, other than her son, and he's all black, and he is a big cat. Like, he really is, but he's went completely blind in the past year or so. He'd been blind in one eye, like he had that like white, I guess, cataracts where he just didn't look right. The way the light reflects off of it, it looks weird. Now both his eyes are like that, but his sister, my mom has, and she is a Maine Coon. Like, her tail is, I mean, this is no joke. Her tail is about that big around. Like, it as big around as my head is how fluffy and big around her. I mean, obviously her tail's, the meat part of it's not that big, but fur wise, like, it's like that. And then I would say she probably weighs about, if I was to guess, I'm guessing because she will not let me pick her up. I would say she probably weighs over 20 pounds. But she is the largest looking cat. I don't know how much is really underneath all that fur, but like, I was shocked at how big she really was, because she was laid on the ground and doing this whenever I was down there for Christmas, I think it was. And I took a bunch of pictures of her on this phone. I'd like to show you guys because she's freaking humongous. I set a Mountain Dew can in the floor for perspective to see so you can see how big she was. She is massive. I don't think the black one's in here. The other one that I think is going to end up being really big is the gray one. He's got these great big huge mitts on him, and like, he's stout. He's like, I don't know, he's like muscular, which he's been fixed ever since he first came around. I went and had him fixed, but I guess really every cat, after you get them fixed like that, they start to get larger. That's pretty consistent. And then Garfield he ballooned up. He was the one that showed up right before I left for the TV show. Well, not right. He didn't show up right before. He'd been around for like 3-4 months. I couldn't get anywhere near him. And then the night before I left for New York, the first time to go start filming for the TV show, for some reason, he let me get a hold of him. So I got a hold of him, and he had this collar that had eaten into his neck from about right here all the way to about right here. And I unlatched it and like tried to peel it out of him, and I ended up having to cut it out of his neck all the way around through here. It stunk. I mean, it was like skin. It wasn't like matted in with fur. It was skin. It was grown into him. And then his ears, behind both of his ears, he had dug from having ear mites, I assume, had dug so bad that I thought he was going to rip his ears off. Like, that's how bad it was. And I took him to the vet and got him fixed and got him ear medication, got him all straightened out. And now Like he's freaking massive. Oh my gosh, he's massive. He's heavy. He probably weighs, I'd say he weighs an easy 20 pounds if I was to guess. Big old cat. What about the color? Heard of it happening to dogs? Well, what it is if you put a collar on a cat when they're smaller, or well, when they're skinnier or whatever, and they get bigger, and that collar, you got it set to where they're smaller, and it just stays on them. It literally grows into them. Same with dogs. Like, you got to pay attention to stuff like that. Loosen it up. I take my fingers and run it around the collars if I got collars on the cats, which I usually keep them on them, because I keep one on them that's got a bell on them so I can hear them where they're at. If I'm like hollering for one outside, I can hear it coming from a good ways away. I can hear that little bell dingling. But yeah, I check on all that stuff. Like, I've never even come close to letting one get tight at all. But yeah, it happens with neglect. When people neglect their animals, and it's my big thing with that is like, if you're going to have an animal and you don't have the time, the know-how, or you're just too damn lazy to take care of that animal, don't have it. Don't have that animal. It's really simple. Someone else can take care of it. Let somebody else have it. You obviously don't want it, or you'd never let it get like that. And I've told my kids this for years. Like the dog water bowl in there or something like that, because we had little Sebastian, which, guys, he passed away not long ago. But let's just say the water's empty, and I'll tell the kid, it's the kids' responsibility to keep up on the water. I tell them to check it. Like, it's one of those filling things, jugs. It's like a 2-gallon jug, 2.5-gallon jug, and then it fills up the bowl. And I tell them, I'm like, look, they can't just go and get something to drink out of the refrigerator. They can't just go to the water faucet and get water out of the faucet. Like, you have to do it for them. They count on you to do that. So don't make them go without because you're too lazy to do something so simple. Like, something so simple as to keep an eye on something that you might have to fill once or twice a week, depending on what day it falls that you filled it up. Like, usually it'll last them, like just Stella, that it'll last her probably a week, a full 7 days. If it was her and Sebastian, it might last 6 days. He didn't drink very much. Like, he's a little tiny dog. So yeah, stuff like that does bother me, especially when it comes to animals, because, like I said, with animals, it's not like they can just do these things. Especially, they're domesticated animals. They're used to being taken care of. They're used to having their food given to them, their water given to them. Like, they're not going to be resourceful and go out and find something, which, if it got down to it, most of them would. But usually, they'll just suffer until they get it, until someone pays attention. Oh, cool. That's got kind of a yellow tint to it. Certainly not white like I kind of wished it was. We are their keepers, I agree. Oh, that's soft. Oh, that's no good. Oh, weird. I didn't think. Ugh. Just the old flavor has just permeated through almost everything in here. Very weird. Some things are okay. Some things are, like, really not okay. I'm curious to know what the heck has happened to this applesauce back here, because I wanted to eat that. That was like the only thing saving grace wise to this. I just dipped the cookie in it anyway. Cookies are weird. I was looking forward to that candy being all chewy, but it tastes like bad milk, kind of like it's weird. Well, the candy didn't ferment, and the applesauce doesn't have any fermentation flavor to it whatsoever. I've had applesauce that fermented from the 90s, and I liked it. Like it was good. I've had it numerous times. I really enjoyed it. But this has created this black spot in it. Oh, I dripped jam into it? Oh. Well, that would make sense. Well, that jam has got that black consistency to it. You're right. That's what that is, I'm sure. Look. See how that's what the consistency of that jam is. It's like this solid weirdness. Well, I guess I'll eat that then. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know I dripped that in there. That's weird. Coated that spoon. I don't know what that is. It rubbed off of there. Yeah. Yeah, the cookie's got a weird flavor until you like chew on it for just a second, and then it's okay. All right, well, I'm going to attempt to try to get some more of the Christmas stuff straightened away so I can get to my rations and stuff, because I don't have a whole lot that I can get to right now. I mean, I've got a few things that I keep here at my station, but I don't think I have a whole lot that I can get to. Yeah, so I've been watching the housing market on its way down, just like I knew it would. Hopefully, gets to the point to where it makes common sense to get into something like that, to a house or something, because until that happens, like I feel like you'd be a fool. You were a fool if you bought a house in the past year and a half or so, roughly, maybe even 2 years. The price, the house prices have just went stupid with this inflation and all this crap, and now it's trying to correct itself and do all this stuff that, yeah, well, I don't know if it's actually going to happen the way it should, the way I think it should, but I mean, I sure do hope that happens. I just saw yesterday there is a former White Sox baseball player, and he came and coached college sports here, college baseball at WVU and some other places, but he is selling his $3 million mansion in West Virginia. It's Martinsburg or somewhere like that. But I looked at it on the whatever. I ended up pulling it up on Realtor, but initially it was like a news channel website. It's a really nice place. It's probably not worth $3 million like they're asking. It's probably worth more along the lines of probably two. I'd say it's probably worth $2 million. Just judging by what I know and what the surrounding houses prices are, and like it's not worth $3. But maybe he's just shooting for the stars and hoping somebody latches on. But Bourbon Street Joe Nola says, thanks for mentioning my crappy reviews. Well, if you guys can find Bourbon Street Joe's channel, he's got a bunch of videos up. Oh, he's got a bunch of videos up over there. The last couple times we've talked, I've tried to look up Bourbon Street Joe's channel and could not find it. So, now, even though maybe, let me click on his name. Nope. Maybe if I do it from in here. Let's just find out real quick. Because if I can get it pulled up, I'll put a link to it. Did you guys see where they arrested Andrew Tate? Oh, he's such a horrible guy. Buy your own super chat. What? Well, that's weird. It gave me an option too that says it's not going to show it. Oh, there. No. Wow, it's like not focusing on that at all. Why is that not picking that up? Anyways, it says buy your own super chat. Go to channel. No. Go to channel. Boom. This is bull. This stupid front-facing camera. There it is. See that screen burn on my phone? Gotta love that. Okay, so let me hey cat, you are not allowed up here. I might let you eat that Navarian. Such a weird name for a food. Alright, let me find a good ration review here. He's got Royal Thai ration menu number 2. Here we go. French RCIR. The ostrich and cranberry sauce. The one that everybody thinks they've got to get because Steve had it. Not true. Not true. Especially after I know what he really thought about it. Copy link. Okay. Okay. Boom. There you go. Click on the link. Go subscribe to his channel. It's crazy folks hoping he's guilty. They'd rather have people abused and him go down than it be false and he stay free. Who we talking about? Tate? I don't know who we're talking about. Oh, Daniel says, are there any MCW meals you might want to review? Be happy to donate one to the cause. Oh, MCWs. I'd have to look back through and see what I've done on here. But, man, if you'd like to donate one, I'm sure I would gladly have it on a live stream, like without any second thoughts about that. My chat's not been working on this screen tonight, by the way, which now I can interact through here, which I'm not looking at you, but I am looking at your words. So, someone referred to him as Andrew Tate, which is an apt description. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of in the middle on that whole thing. As far as what I will say, though, is what the government does to... Look, I know it's a conspiracy, but it's also not, because it's been proven time and time again, like, what they're doing to him is exactly what they've done to other people. Like, action for action. It matches up until ultimately they unalive themselves, which obviously is not something they'd ever do. So, yeah, I don't know. That part extremely bothers me. Really bothers me. And I do think he does say a lot of things that that are good and need to be said, and then he also, I think the reason he says and does some of those other things, my personal opinion, the reason he does that is for shock value, and it makes more people talk about it and discuss it, and it becomes a topic, a point of a topic of conversation more often because of that. And he's not stupid. Like he knows exactly what he's doing when he does it. So the things he says and does, they make sense. And some of the things that he says and does, I feel like because he's saying them, they get vilified. Whereas if it was maybe the right person, which it would have to be the right person for the job, saying these things for them to be acceptable, if that makes any sense. I do not like the way public conversation has gone. I feel like we can't openly talk about things and disagree without someone trying to cancel the other one. That's something that we've got to put in the past. You've got to be able to disagree and move on. Agree to disagree. I don't like what you say. You don't like what I say. And now we part ways. And we can still not like what each other says. It's not going to change our lives at all. Like, we're allowed to do that. Instead of, all right, now we got to try to get you fired from your job. You can't have a Twitter account. You can't. We got to get you off social media completely. No Facebook, no YouTube channels, no nothing. And some of the stuff that they've said and done to people like that is just, well, let's be honest. With everything that Elon's put out, which has happened since I've been on here, so I haven't been on here since it's happened. With the Twitter files, with the FBI literally, like, conspiring to cancel people, Trump, and silencing the laptop story, like stuff like that. Right there, we knew it was happening when it was happening. We said it was happening when it was happening, and exactly what was going on is what we're like. This is what's happening, but we couldn't prove it because it was all going on behind closed doors and through security emails, and so yeah. Well, I mean, it's not really any kind of conspiracy or anything. It's out in the open now. You know what I mean? It's not like the Twitter files are something fake or made up. Like, that's all real, and now it's provable. It's something we knew was going on beforehand, just like shadow banning is rampant. They do that to so many people. And here's the thing, like pre-2016, 17 era, anybody could make it on YouTube. If you had a passion for what you were doing, you loved what you were doing, and you found an audience, like, you could make it, and you could turn this into your job. You could turn YouTube and online things, like, you could expand obviously into other platforms and other revenue sources with your voice and with your content, and you could make a living at it. But now, if they decide, when I say they, I mean the people that are flipping the switches on who's accepted and who's not at YouTube or at Instagram or at Twitter, if they flip that switch and say, nah, this guy, we don't want his message out there. We don't want people to see what he's doing. When they do that, that takes away your ability to just make it. Like, they take your living away. Like, you say you've been making a living on YouTube and that was your livelihood. They just decide one day, like, no, we're not going to allow them to do that no more. And they take it away. With the way that YouTube is governed and the way it's supposed to be a public platform, there are obviously things that shouldn't be online. I mean, I think we can all agree that if it's something that you would cringe over, or if it's something that would be harmful, extremely harmful, but you should be able to have a wrong opinion. You should be able to say things that are outlandish As long as you're not telling people to go out and do some crazy something or other, like where's the problem? You would much rather, here's my big problem with all that. You would much rather see what that person has to say. I would much rather see that person's very wrong opinion than never know it. Than to never know it and this person be over here stewing with their crazy opinions or their crazy thoughts. I'd much rather hear them. I'd much rather see and hear what they have to say. Then I know where they stand. You see what I'm saying? Like, silencing these people is the opposite of what needs to be happening. That's not the way this country has worked up until this point. Like, it's all flipping around to basically the opposite of how it has been for our entire history. So I guess we'll see if that's going to work. I'm not a fan of it, but I don't have control of it. So, nor would I want to control it. You know what I mean? You would want to take the reins off and let that roll out. And like I said, of course there are things that shouldn't be online, and of course there are things that are harmful, but those things are very plainly obvious when you get into something like that. It's so simple. It's so simple when it comes to that. And both sides will agree on that one thing being very wrong or very harmful. Like, okay, yeah, we both that's something that can't be online. It's pretty simple. If both sides are agreeing, well, all three sides, all five sides, whatever sides are agreeing that it's something bad, then yeah, sure, that makes sense. I think I'm going to start a channel on Rumble. I would agree with you, Daniel. I just thought about doing the same thing myself. I've been thinking about it for, I'd say a few months now, something like that, just because it's a healthy outlet, and they're not censoring over there. I think as long as that platform continues to grow like it has been, I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunity to be had over there. As long as, here's my big if and my big what if, as long as the powers that be, being Apple, Google, allow that app to continue to exist. Because just like with Parler, whenever they decided that they didn't like that everybody went from Twitter over to Parler from one side because they weren't allowed to talk on their side, they were all being silenced and kicked off and everything else. So they were like, all right, we'll go to Parler. They went to Parler, and what happened? Apple kicked Parler off the App Store. Google kicked Parler off the App Store. And overnight, that company went from being a, I don't know, tens of millions of dollar company to being absolutely worthless. Overnight. They ruined their livelihood, their lives, the people that had invested in that company and that were running that company, which was probably, I'm going to guess, at least a few hundred people, that they ruined their current existence overnight. Bullcrap. They should not be allowed to do that, especially when it's the situation like that was. Like I said, I'm sure that we could all agree that there are some things that shouldn't be online, and there's some things that they've taken offline that should have never been touched. I'll tell you something else, and this is going to be a very mixed opinion that a lot of people will probably disagree with, but I think what they've done to Alex Jones is absolute teetotal BS, because he was wrong. Like, he was wrong. He never said or done anything malicious. He was very wrong, but he was just wrong. You're not allowed to be wrong. You're not allowed to have a wrong opinion. He wasn't slandering anybody. He wasn't doing anything like that that could be considered a crime. But because they didn't like it and they went to court. Now, it's not only that, it's the outcome. Like, billions. We're talking, they've sued him now successfully for $2 billion. What planet are we living on where this type of frivolous lawsuit is allowed to be going on and in the public space? Both those things are awful. I know my opinion is not going to be very well liked on that, and I'm okay with that, because I feel like you should be allowed to be wrong. You should be allowed to say things and be wrong, and you shouldn't have to live in fear of accidentally saying something that gets you completely canceled and ruins your entire life because you said something that was wrong. it just that doesn't mean that doesn't add up at all. Like it's crap. Take her easy, Mike. True, if the Play Store, Apple Store take the app off, Rumble will fail absolutely. Yeah, because there's no way they can exist outside of it. Here's another thing: like we're not supposed to allow monopolies in America, but yet we do, like all the time. Google and Apple are monopolies. I don't care what anybody says. They are monopolies. They have all the control. Period. And here's another thing. I watched the other day. I watched some sort of interview on the mainstream news channel, CNN, MSNBC, and this girl was trying. She was trying to say, well, all the social media companies didn't work together to ban Andrew Tate. Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. There's no way that they don't sit down and have a conference call. Within 24 hours, he was banned off of YouTube, off of Airbnb of all things, off of Uber, off of Twitter, off of Instagram, off of Facebook, off of everything. There's no way that there's no coordination there. Like, there's just absolutely no way. There was a decision made somewhere, and they all went along with it. Like, this point of being able to be socially canceled, it's not okay. Like, we have to stop this. We have to stop this. I remember back when this whole canceling thing started, thinking, oh, that's funny. They can't really cancel someone out all the way across the board. And here we are. Here we are to the point to where, like, they really can. And they do on a consistent basis. It's the they that scares the crap out of me. It's not just it's all of it working together, and it's all stuff that I don't know. Let's say a year ago would have been a conspiracy, and now it's something that's provable. And thank God that they've actually came out and put the documents out that it's provable. But I don't know, man. It's crazy that we're in the place that we're in right now. Like, we should be doing things a whole lot differently and focusing on completely different topics than the things that we're focusing on and the things that the government's focusing on. It's like there's a whole lot of other things that we could be doing better, that we could be doing more efficiently, that we could be doing, that working on in general to better our situation, trying to bring back industry into our country. Like, there's so many things that we could be doing that we're not doing. She's really loud. Really loud. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys for listening to me babble on about stuff you probably didn't want to hear me talking about. That's why Elon taking control of Twitter caused so much outrage. He wasn't going to play the game. Same game the rest of the big tech and media giants. I agree to a certain extent, because what I don't like about what Elon does is, if he asks a question, he already knows what the answer should be, and he does it with a poll. Now, he unbanned everybody, and then he asked about Alex Jones. Should Alex Jones be unbanned? Well, the poll came back and said no, he shouldn't be. So he listened to the poll. I don't think that's right. I think he should have unbanned him. But do I think Twitter would have made a difference for him? No, I don't. So I don't think it's a huge deal. What I do think is a huge deal is him being canceled across everything like that. So second drink, mustache drink. All right, guys, thank you guys for showing up and hanging out. It had been a long time, and it was good. It was really good to catch back up, and New Year's and Christmas and all that had happened. And I tried to stay posted up on YouTube and get the message out there. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all that. So, I don't know, guys. I'm going to be looking to see if I can find any more bread that looks like mine in these mid-2000s IMPs, because I've never seen it before, so now I'm really going to be looking. So, all right, guys. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. Thanks to my patrons. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Yeah. So I guess all I got left to do now is say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Later.